2010-011, acknowledging and accepting a cash donation of $500 from the Rushford Peterson Community Chest for the Rushford Public Library. See the attached resolution.
Move to accept with thanks.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. 8B, consideration of approving the policies for the revolving flood loan program as recommended by the EDA at their regular meeting on April 4th, 2010.
Mr. Mayor, we have, Joyce is here, and I would ask her to be able to give a report to the council as a whole.
Please.
Good evening. These are policies that have been in review over the last several months, in part with the addition of the flood loan repayment policies. And what the EDA basically did was add another section which is labeled Part C, which covers the flood loan repayments and applies all of the other policies that are in the business subsidy criteria and the revolving loan fund guidelines Part B, with the addition of the items in Part C. And that was intended to make that addition of covering these flood repayment funds as smooth as possible. So we're using the same application process, and all of the other items apply with the addition of, it's actually the addition of items in section C2, eligible borrowers, eligible applicants, including not-for-profit institution. And that decision was made, or recommendation is made, because not-for-profit institutions were part of the funding eligibility for the flood funding. They were eligible as well as businesses. And then eligible uses. Startup operating costs and working capital inventory as long as the equity requirement is met by other means. C3.2, eligible business projects may include a local media business and other local business startups or expansion that will retain existing jobs and or create living wage jobs that meet or exceed Minnesota State Economic Development Assistance Standards. And then the top 2 pages, the rubric was added recently, and the back page of that, business subsidy and RLF full application checklist. This was itemized from the items that are already in the policy and guidelines, so that it would make it easier for people to look through the list and make sure that they have all the things that are required. There will probably be changes, as we go along, but the EDA felt that it's time to get this to you. I guess the final change or addition in both Parts A and Part B are quarterly as well as annual reporting. And this has started with some of the newer businesses that have participated in either the new revolving loan funds, or in the case of a business that was a startup before the flood funds started coming back in. That was a loan that was approved through the Southeast Minnesota Development Corporation, but the city had to back it. So.
Essentially, Mr. Mayor, many of these policies have been enforced in prior years, but I think the rubric, which allows a scoring consistency, we're going to try that to see how that works. We may need to amend it further, but at least it gives us a point total to kind of get started on that process. And then I think the checklist will be good for the client borrowing. And as we've got one or two out right now, it'll be interesting to see how this process goes, but we just want to kind of have something that we can say, this is what we're following for now, and if we run into needed changes, we'll certainly bring them forward, but we're hopeful that this will at least give us a good fighting chance to make good decisions on all those. So the EDA had taken this up at its meeting on April 4th, I believe, and moved to recommend to the council the adoption of this policy.
Any comment?
I'd like to thank Joyce for her hard work on this, and Wendy also for putting this together. I think it's a good guideline, a good document for us to follow. And I would move that we adopt it.
Second. Motion and a second. Any need to discuss? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.